Previously.
He's getting cocky because he missed last week.
Yeah. He wasn't
No,
here.
no.
He didn't see the shit
I was
we
just
had to do.
explaining how Mother's Day came about. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hatched.
Bonding ritual.
um, Summoning circles. Okay, summoning. Previously, the group of you traveled had traveled south by southwest away from the Skyfire clan in pursuit of what you postulated might be some connection. The missing hiker, the missing hunters that never returned over the winter, a group of four of them. You were hoping to try to find out what happened to them, and maybe it has something to do with whatever curse, blight, impropriety is being revisited upon the clan every evening. You, with the help of the Bloody Pup and some very good rolls, were able to track down what would likely be a good shelter in a storm, such as the one that was said to have passed through the area at the time that they went missing. The remnants of an old keep set into a narrow valley on the northern edge of the Pinwood here. The trees were still far apart and looked more younger than some of the others. And within this area, you found a well. The well had a flickering light at the bottom. Followed this light and found the well itself did not connect to a water source, but instead opened to a vast cavern and spiraling downwards. A series of torches, magically enchanted to light and extinguish themselves upon the approach of anyone, guided your path. At the base, you were greeted by apparitions of the lost hunters. They seemed unaware of their own demise. They asked if you were here to save them. One by one, they seemed to appear, speak, not hear you in the same way that you expect to be heard. They vanish, and you could hear the sounds of rushing wind and dripping water and a small few rocks falling down the ledge. And then the creatures were upon you. These massive 17-foot tall, spindly limbed, rib cage teeth, skull headed monstrosities that attacked the group when you were at the Skyfire clan. Also found you here. It did not seem to be flanked and accompanied by the specters that assail the Skyfire as well, thankfully. But these things were here nonetheless to waylay you. You annihilated them with some very, very good rolling. And one by one, you discovered that each of them had some remains left behind. A heart, frozen solid. You put this in the bag and went up and rested at the pool near the one stained bedroll and bag of bones in the small pool there. A short rest later, the bag had summarily frozen nearly solid. But when you need to get underway, every hour that you spend away from the Skyfire clan, Brent is 1 hour closer to the next night that they must endure. you set out. You made good progress for the remaining hours of daylight and found a campsite. As you set about everything and the sun finally went down, the bag that contained these 3 hearts was thrust from you as the hearts scattered and started to pull parts of the surrounding nature and reform these massive 3 creatures. They seemed incomplete at the time that they were forming, and you were able to successfully dispatch them once again. Or it's once again plopping onto the ground to be collected by the group of you. This is where we've picked up. Aeolus has gathered the bag of hearts and is indicating that at last we checked that he wants to spend the evening away from the rest of you, such that the remainder of you might be able to get a full rest. What would it be?
I'm wondering, we have a bag of holding, correct?
A bag of beverage holding, certainly.
I wonder if we put the hearts in the bag of holding if they could escape from it.
Just one question. Did you already try to burn them? I mean, they really dislike fire, it seems.
That's what I was.
I mean,
gonna try to
bashing
do.
didn't do anything, so maybe fire is the way to go. And we have a campfire. It's just easy to try out.
The campfire was put out, but I believe Willem restarted it. So it's starting to catch up again. You need some more fuel, but easy enough to find here.
Are not putting those hearts in the same fire that we are cooking bacon. Start a new fire for me.
Okay. And
2 campfires.
Aeolus will take one of his torches. We'll spark it up with the campfire or the cook fire, and we'll start a separate fire just a little bit away.
Thank you. I do not want heart-flavored bacon.
It's actually not that
It'd be hearty. I saw it there. I couldn't resist that one.
Oh, absolutely. Low-hanging fruit.
Anan, would you like to help me out with this?
Sure.
So as Dunn and I start to stoke the second fire to get it to a decent strength, should we put all of them in at once, or should we try one?
I think we should try one. And see how it reacts. I don't want all 3 of them have a weird reaction. We have to deal with all 3 of them at the same time again.
I'm afraid
Or-
it'll either put the fire out or spawn the thing. So yeah, one at a time.
Or
And if it works, we
Arne-
can burn the others. Or that, yeah. I mean,
I'm
we can
thinking
throw
these
it in
things are
from a
going to need.
distance.
I'm thinking these things are going to need like bronze beards forged to get enough heat to kill the hearts. But let's give it a shot.
all right,
Hillerest is a little downer today. Sorry.
I am gonna grab one of the hearts and put it in the fire.
Okay.
Complete
after-
separate.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say a separate question. Can I use mold earth to make the type of fire pit we've been using? I can't remember what they're called.
Yes, you may.
Then maybe that would be a good place to try this, just in case there's additional effects. We can, see what's happening and smother it or do whatever we need to.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay. So you place the first heart in the in the fire there, Aeolus. It's with the tunnel that Willem creates for it. After seeing you do it once, realizing that it helps focus a lot more heat and gets a nice even burn. Take some time, sort of just stoking the fire, pulling the ashes back over top of the heart. As it goes, you keep the fire well fed. Your mind starts to wander. You think of the faces of those apparitions as they appeared, concerned, scared, hungry, and then vanished. And you think of the all-consuming hunger that tries to overwhelm you when you're in close proximity to those monstrosities. The need to eat anything, just anything to satiate it. Then you think of the hunting party itself, based on what you've been told and discovered. 4 of them. 2 hearts at your side. A heart there in the fire. And a bag of bones. Hidden shamefully. After an hour, you see, as you're just sort of raking over the coals one more time, there's a pop and a hiss as cracks and fissures form along the heart, and it falls apart and crumbles, mixing into the ash.
Oh, it worked.
So it seemed to work.
Nice.
Maybe we should try doing them one at a time so there's not any confluence of power or
Well,
heart catastrophe.
Siegfried, could you try detect magic just to be sure? I don't want any residue or I don't know, whatever left behind.
Yeah, Siegfried will literally start casting Detect Magic.
Sure.
And while he's doing that, we're gonna start a new fire. You listen me.
For a 3rd fire?
Yeah, for the next heart, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
well, wait. Why are we gonna start a 3rd fire if this fire hasn't?
Didn't you say it's just
Oh, no.
ashes now? It just
Yeah.
gone out?
No, the heart crumbled into ash.
Oh, then we have to, just to rekindle it, okay.
The fire's still going,
Alright then, just...
unless you let it go out.
What time of night is it?
You're pushing about 10 p.m. at this point. Maybe, yeah, pushing 10 p.m. at this point.
Well, if the rest of you, seeing as we have
Let's
seeing
just
that,
get it over with, Aeolus. Put the second heart in.
okay. And we put the second heart.
Oh, by the way, if no one told Willem, he has a magic illusion dagger. I don't know if he wanted to tune to it at some point.
Oh, the piece of
The obsidian dagger, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Willem has it right now.
Nobody told. Is it on my character sheet by chance?
You all do not know what it is yet.
Yeah, it was a piece of amethyst that was connected to something that could be like a necklace,
Hmm.
from what I remember.
It's obviously magical, but we haven't identified it yet.
No.
Is this a mysterious shard that's in my attunement slot?
Yeah.
Okay. It's already in my slot. I might as well try to
Okay.
attune to it then.
I think I added it for you. Assuming that you would attempt to attune to it. Caution to the wind type of moment for you. Okay. Next hour passes. Getting closer and closer to midnight. After these thoughts continue to roll about in your mind, Aeolus, the second heart crumbles to ash. Destroyed.
All right, number 3.
Yeah, and what about those bones? Should we burn them too?
You left
Just to
them.
be sure. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't haunt us. Well, let's first destroy the third heart and then think about what we are going to do.
And then hopefully rest. I agree.
Hopefully, without surprises.
All right.
No. Nothing.
Okay. The third heart into the fire. And you repeat your, at this point, ritualistic motions, making sure it's continuously covered and recovered in the hot coals, keeping the fire well fed, plenty of wood, grasses. Your thoughts of what you suspect is the victim. That bag of bones. The specters said we didn't mean to, we had to. Didn't have a choice. Do you? An hour passes. It's just past midnight. The third and final heart is destroyed as it crumbles to ash. Of note, Siegfried, since you would have had to take magic up and back down by this point, when you had it up, there were only the 2 sources, and then it goes down to 1 if you kept checking.
But there's no like residual energy after they
There's
turned down.
not. No.
Okay. I just give the thumbs up to Aeolus and Dun, and I think it worked.
Oh, great. That's good news. Question is, what do we do now? Go back to check, or I mean, back to the orcs, or back to the cave where we found the hearts?
I think we should go check on the orcs. Then we'll
Mm.
know for sure if we succeeded or not.
I agree.
And
And,
we'll be able to relay the information of if they possibly find any frozen hearts, to just set them on fire.
I'm wondering if the whole thing is a curse because they cannibalized the one person, and now that if we can put the bones to rest, if they're the bones of the one person who was cannibalized, if everything would go away.
That altar was desecrated as well. Perhaps that
Yeah.
desecration has something to do with what happened to them.
Yeah.
Again, it's out of my level of magic I know right now.
It's just a hunch.
There's
Because
that.
bones for one and hearts for the other 3.
Do you think maybe the shaman from the orc tribe could help out?
I would like to speak to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Let's rest first and then head back to the orcs.
And Aeolus, you got a name out that time, didn't you?
Backlork.
Does anyone here recognize that at all?
None of you do.
Perhaps the orcs might have a better idea.
Well, let's try to get some rest. I'll take first watch.
I can't see shit right now, so I'll take last watch. Siegfried's just waving his hand in front of his face.
And Willem, you're successfully attuned to the mysterious shard.
Yeah, I was reading over. It's pretty cool.
That is a badass item.
Yeah. Essentially, whenever you spend a meta magic option, you get to become invisible until the start of your next turn, and it would break normally.
Once I saw it at illusion magic, I was like, "Yep, that's perfect for Willem."
Especially the sorcery portion. Like, allows me to use it more often.
All right. Who's ever taken first watch? I'd like a perception check from you, please.
I'll take second watch then.
Oh, it's
I'll take third watch because I guess Siegfried's taking fourth.
the fire that you use to annihilate these hearts goes out. You still have the cook fire to provide heat to the surrounding area for you as well. And it gets comfortably cold as you finally settle in some 5 hours after you had planned to. And your watch passes quietly. Second watch done.
Yes.
As you wake, you have some leftover scraps of dinner, a sort of satiate, a grumbling tummy, but you're just sort of lost in your own thoughts for the watch. Not an issue. No one bothers you. No creatures that you hear come near. The party's fine. They're sleeping like logs. Here, 2 hours pass quietly. Third watch shall rest. At last, you wake. Your thoughts are with this clan. Your theory of cannibalism. It's unnerving, but just the type of thing you would expect curses to be associated with. Your watch also passes quietly. Last watch. Thank you. Siegfried, you sort of glance around as Helleras is finally laying back down. Take a little bit of a stride. The sun is beginning to rise towards the beginning of your watch. You can see the sky is already starting to lighten. There's still stars in the sky, though. I need a wisdom save from you, Siegfried. Okay. Your watch passes quietly. Nothing of note. scan the horizon as the world begins to grow alight once again. Willem wakes up at some point during this time as he slept enough. And then finally your watch ends. You've all completed your long rest and you do gain the benefits therein. What will it be for the day?
Willem probably would have started the day by making some of his hot peppers wrapped with bacon, cooked in some ale for his daily snackies, and passed them out to the pup. And,
Lovely.
and Danny.
It's perfect.
Feed the dog hot peppers.
He's gonna ride faster now.
Well, that's just to get away from the smell.
Well, let's head back to our orc tribe, shall we? Hope they are all well.
Do I remember the trail back to their tribe, or do I have to do survival checks again?
Make me a survival check.
Okay. In case it does help, I have this.
Alright, so you know which direction is north.
Yeah. But I also remember a lot what I
Yeah.
did in the month.
Yeah.
But
seen and heard. So yeah, go ahead and make the survival check. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I will just wild shape dragon form again and do the survival check.
Sure. Yeah, not an issue.
Sorry, that was just didn't mean to roll an advantage.
Oh, good. Yeah. No worries. You're used to using enhanced ability all the time. 20 is sufficient. You know exactly which way to sort of go. You know, within the next about 3 hours of walking, you'll hit part of the stream that you can then follow directly back to the tribe.
Cool. I'll start going in that direction.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else during the day as you proceed?
I would just talk to Willem. Did you get anything off that stone? Feel like anything?
I mean, this here shard?
Yeah.
I did. It's real neat.
Yeah, it seemed like when I saw illusion magic, it seemed appropriate for you. Not really my expertise. Does it help in that regard?
Yeah, when I use my powers to change my spells, I think it'll make me disappear.
It is cool. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Or not seeing it.
I mean, I can't see shit when you start using those darkness spells anyways. But it didn't help you make any voices or anything like that, does it?
Not that I heard or saw, or yeah, no.
Let's just think. We thought because it was illusion magic, it might have been how the weird undead were using it to trick members of their tribe, but I guess not. They must have been doing something else.
Well, I mean, I guess it's possible that they made themselves invisible and then they couldn't see what was talking, but it only will make me invisible for just a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever it is, it's out there still.
Well, I mean, whoever did this to them, I don't think we stopped them, but we may have stopped the attacks for now. Something caused this ALS, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think an orcish hunting party would have the knowledge of curses and spirits and freezing hearts.
I don't either. Does anyone know any information of the Pleiades?
No, not really. Not really a
Hmm,
church
cool.
boy, Aeolus.
Not very religious. Why?
Something that when I honked out as you guys were fighting these creatures. The thing that I saw.
Oh, were you spaced out?
Yeah.
Did it talk to you?
It said that it sees us, or that I see you. I found you. I'm thinking
Oh,
you
great.
may possibly be what is responsible for our more recent tangles with unexplainable creatures.
So you think it marked you somehow?
Or that it knows we are responsible for putting its followers down, no matter how many times they stand right back up.
Well, I wouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. We only have a little bit of information.
Well, we have
then-
the
but then-
tendency to
but then-
piss people off, so
Yeah, but then Siegfried also smiles at Aeolus, but it suggests something. He couldn't find you before. That means they're fallible. As powerful as they are, they weren't able to find us until
This
you
is
revealed
true.
yourself. That means maybe we can do something.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, we already did something. I mean, we at
how
least
about
know how to kill those bony creatures. That's kind of weird, don't you think? They tried to burn down the huts and used fire when it's fire that kills them.
I mean, you know how curses work. It's usually something ironic and something that hurts the people you care about the most.
Are you
Well-
sure it's a curse?
well, we also have to remember these creatures that we fought last night. They weren't the ones that were hurling fireballs.
No, they
That
weren't.
is true.
So
I mean, we have to
whatever-
ask. We have to ask Frothy if they did something in the past months that could have angered some old spirit or deity or whatever. Something must have changed.
We'll be there soon. Only a couple hours away.
As the miles fall away underfoot, it's approximately the middle of the afternoon, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., as you see the ring of blighted land that has had, as the clan said, a series of very wide swaths of the land have been burnt. Clear cut and then burnt again, creating this fire ring every evening. It is a mar upon the landscape. But at the center of this, you find the encampment of the Skyfire clan.
Yeah, I wave to them and give them the signal. When we're in view of the camp.
You get led in past the individuals currently working the security force, not any faces that you recognize. At the center, you find Chief Frothy, and where is my handouts? Chief Frothy, Goodlang, and Jolly. All sitting and conversing at the moment as you come up to them. They see you approach. Hello, welcome back. Any success?
So, we found your hunting party.
What of them?
Unfortunately, not good news. They hid in a cave farther southwest and were surprised by the blizzard. And, well, they didn't make it. I'm sorry. And I spare the details of them eating the wounded one. But
We think we may have done something to stop the magic, but were you attacked last night?
We were early in the night, yes. It wasn't too bad. The creatures weren't there, thankfully. But
The
Oh.
the big
creatures
things
with
that,
the antlers.
yeah, they were, they'd been there the other nights since you've left. But the rings of fire were sufficient to sort of keep them at bay. We could see their forms just stalking the perimeter. It was unnerving.
Are there any other clan members immediately around us?
The nearest one would be Segsteel, who is the master of the hyenas. Here's his handout.
That is a massive. Wow.
But no one else at the moment. It seems, as is the sort of custom at this time of the day, everyone is sort of trying to rest and recuperate before their large meal before the evening at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
The creatures that weren't present last night.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good possibility that that was your hunting party.
What do you mean?
And Aeolus will explain the spirits that they found. And won't go into the details of how they were bickering back and forth, but they seem to have, for their own survival, began to feed on one of their own that had passed. And when they began to remember and it seemed like their emotions began to become irate, that's when those creatures stepped out of the grounds. And once we slew those creatures, upon investigating their origin points, we found frozen hearts. The only way to get rid of creatures like that, if you come across them and you manage to find their heart, is to put it in a reasonably strong flame.
For a reasonably long time.
His face has sort of grown dark over the telling of these tales. For a part, Goodlang has not interrupted you. You've had few interactions with her, but she seems to be a bit more of a spitfire most of the time, and not apt to just sit and listen, but she has done exactly that. Your story clearly affects all three of them listening here.
And one more thing, and we did find a shrine in this cave down there. It is desecrated, and it was. What was the name, Aeolus? Can't remember. It was dedicated to some spirit or deity. Well, can you tell them the name?
It was a shrine to Eklork.
Yeah, you ever heard that name?
They all indicate that they've not. Never heard of it.
From what I was able to gather, they are a spirit of the lands. Or were.
Goodlang speaks up at this point. I mean, you know many spirits of the lands. Correct Lork is not a name. We are careful to observe and respect all the kami in any land we travel as the year passes. This is not one of the natural spirits of the world. That I can be certain.
Would you be
I
able
know them
to...
all, and I would consider many amongst my friends and friends of the Skyfire clan for our observations of them.
Well, that puts me at ease.
Maybe the spirit is just pissed because their shrine is desecrated. Would you be able to cleanse it, Goodlang? It's out of our capabilities.
It's not something that I would feel comfortable doing, spending my magics to help something that is not actually of the land. If it is, as you say, associated with our friends, those monsters, no interest in helping the spirit.
We are uncertain about that. I mean, Aeolus has had an encounter with the spirit, but can't wrap my head around it. It just said it sees us, not more.
Well, we don't know if the village is going to get attacked again tonight, so let's get ready. If they do,
True.
that means we missed something and we need to go back there and look tomorrow.
I don't think it may be there.
Or
But I
wherever we
also-
need to look.
I also don't feel comfortable resting here.
You don't need to rest here outside. You can use my bashla.
Oh,
Already
no.
slept.
It's not that. When we were fighting the creatures, I had a vision of something that wasn't of this world. Or at least it didn't feel like it. And it said that it found us. If there is something that is tracking us, I'd rather not put the Skyfire clan at risk by being.
Well, if something's tracking the Skyfire clan, I'm pretty sure this Ring of Fire has already given them away.
For the Ed, sure.
No, I mean, the kami of this place have been disturbed. It's gonna take a long time before the spirits return to this area. As unfortunate as it's necessary for our protection,
Feelings nodding in agreement with you.
it's beyond just physical Aeolus.
Well, regardless, we still have to see if the attacks are happening tonight once again.
I think we should help them out, regardless if we are being watched or seen or whatever. It's just maybe it's trying to scare us. I think it's more scared of us than we are from it. I think it knows that we're coming for it.
I just turned to good on. Do anyone need healing? Do you need help?
It is under control. Rest. At least relax.
Just ask Frothy, did that
I'll drink to that.
did that square of earth help at all? I knew it was a long shot.
It seemed good. I liked the idea, but 2 people ran into it while running in the dark. They weren't expecting just a raised piece of earth. It was a good idea.
I will make another one. I'm sorry.
Could probably post torches on it.
But yeah, Siegfried would go lay down and get ready for tonight.
Aeolus is going to go beyond the scorched and wrecked earth and is just going to try to see if there's any cracks, anything that can be used for our investigation.
Make me a survival check. As you look around, you do not find any tracks whatsoever. You feel quite confident there are no tracks other than the ones that you expect to find that if you were a group.
doke.
Hillerast is going to go talk to Goodlang a little bit, just to talk shaman shop and tell her where she is in her journey. Not really expecting any type of wisdom or anything else, but just to kind of pick the brain of another shaman who's a lot more experienced than she is.
Well, you pull her aside and chat for a little while. What training did you learn this from? As after you've explained a little bit of what you do and where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
she asks you, where did you learn this training?
I don't really know or remember. I remember going through the Pinwood and was just exploring and hanging around, but I don't
Just
I don't
comes to
really
you?
remember. Yeah, it was just almost like a gift. But I've been struggling with it ever since. Trying to figure out how to do this. I figured out augury, and I have my bones that I cast, and she'll take out Corin and introduce them.
You see Goodling's eyes go wide as you conjure Corin. Last time that you had Corin out in the middle of the fight probably wasn't the opportune moment, but sort of awestruck. Sort of reaches out to sort of touch Corin. May I?
Of course.
Sort of presses into Corin where you see her finger sinks in a little bit, but then encounters enough resistance to sort of force it back. Almost like putting two like-charged magnets together. You can get them close, but there's a point that you can't really get them past. That is remarkable. I've not seen something like this. Not in my lifetime. There's stories of similar abilities, but I'm not the right person to help you if you were looking for advice or guidance. I can't.
This has actually been really helpful because it kind of explains why I feel so lost. I'm trying to figure this out on my own, I guess.
I cannot. It is a path that I think you might be walking. It's mostly alone. There are stories of people having such similar abilities, having a companion upon which they call, but it is not what I do.
How do you approach your shamanism?
I ask for the blessings from the kami every morning, and they bequeath unto me my abilities for the day. To heal the sick and injured, to forestall diseases and poisons, sometimes to alleviate curses, and sometimes to be a little bit more dangerous if our numbers are particularly slight for that following evening, and I might be needed to fight.
Yeah, I don't seem to be healing that much, but I do seem to be very effective in fighting at times. Corin is definitely a fighter. That's what she does.
Mechanically, as she goes about and explains it, she describes very clerical abilities, not
Mhm.
shaman. I have my place, and my prayers to the land are how I draw my power.
Your tribe is lucky to have you.
As
You
is
seem to be.
yours to have you, I think.
Well, it just seems like maybe the gods use us as they see fit.
The gods have little power. The spirits of the land, the sea, and the air here govern our existence.
I understand. Thank you.
Sort of nod in a recognition. And I have business to attend to before nightfall.
Thank you for your time and your wisdom. And then Helly will just go off and try to take a bit of a nap.
You all settle in for the next few hours. Would you all have gone to sleep and started a long rest, or just been lounging about, sort of keeping it low energy until evening?
I think more of the second one. I haven't spent anything really yet.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Yeah. So one by one, you sort of.
Could I technically get a short rest though? during
Yeah,
that
sure,
time?
absolutely.
Get a wild shape back.
Yeah.
Harry, yeah. Helly's going to go ahead and take a long rest because she's missing some spell slots, but her health is fine, but she
Okay,
needs
so
some.
you're going to sleep then.
Yep.
Okay.
Would be exploring the local cooking traditions. I know food stuff here, but would be adding and helping us. He can, but also looking for new, just items to add to their repertoire.
Right now, their entire cooking repertoire is stew because it parses out fairly evenly amongst all the people, and it helps food go further. That's about it. They don't have food supplies at this point.
Yeah, what I figured. He'd be helping them out,
Mm-hmm.
adding some ale to stew, maybe some hot peppers, maybe try to make a kind of gumbo, if you will, or something.
Okay. The hours pass. The
Could Dan
door.
and spar with Jolly for a bit.
Jolly refuses your request. He doesn't want to exhaust himself before nightfall.
Alright.
Boring.
Isn't this
And he does
too
say,
bad?
maybe when the sun comes back up. If you're still alive.
Same to you.
The sort of leather curtain that covers the chief Frothi's Bashla is pulled aside as she says, sun's about to set. Should I let you know if we need any help?
Yes, please. We'll be ready. Or do you need us to go out with them right now?
We got it covered for now.
Okay.
Been walking all day.
Well, we'll be ready whatever happens.
You all settle back in. Hear the sounds of anticipation. Hear the grinding of a stone on a piece of metal, someone sharpening their blade. Tense minutes pass. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It drags into an hour. Another hour passes, and you can hear sounds and conversing. Muted, distant. Voices louder than normal. Multiple people speaking. Another hour drags by. Another hour. Voices are louder. They sound more excitable. Ruthie flings open the botchla at this point. I'm sorry to disturb any of you if you are resting.
Siegfried starts grabbing his quarterstaff and just like, oh, ready, time to go.
There's been nothing. There's no specters. There's no things throwing fire. There's nothing on the outskirts of the village.
Aeolus exits the tent.
There's been nothing for hours. Not to jinx it, but there's only 2 more hours until sunrise. A few more hours until sunrise. They've always shown up by now. People are in good spirits. Whatever you've done might have worked.
Let's just wait for sure till the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wait out the sunrise. We'll be ready.
In the
Yeah,
next
Siegfried would follow Aeolus at least outside.
few hours pass in spirits being rekindled and growing over time. Every hour that passes elevates the mood of the Skyfire clan twofold. By the first rays of sunlight peeking over the eastern horizon as the sky begins to lighten, there's laughter, there's cheering, the mood is highly elated at this. A night with no fighting. Siegfried, Dunnan, Aeolus, and Willem, you all gain a level of exhaustion. How the rest? You do not. You complete a long rest. You probably would have been present for the last about 2 hours before sunrise, because you did start resting early as well.
Yeah.
So, the rest of you are exhausted, though.
Seems whatever we did was good.
Dunnan, make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Great.
He,
Is that with disadvantage? No, it's ability checks.
No,
okay.
ability checks, yeah.
he's come to spar, Dunnan.
Yeah. As you were speaking, you get sort of cold cocked inside of your jaw. Like, hey, it's sunrise. We're not dead.
Oh, that's dirty. That's dirty, Jolly. But I accept your challenge,
All right.
and I throw a punch back at him.
All right.
Go.
You have a playful, fun sparring session, sort of boxing back and forth with Jolly as more people come, just sort of cheer on different sides. You can see it's not as many people rooting for you, mostly rooting against Jolly. Make me a series of athletics checks at disadvantage.
Awesome.
3 of them.
1, 2, 3.
Your disadvantage is fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. um. It quickly goes into Jolly's favor. You can tell he's he's bigger, he's stronger, and he's not tired. By comparison to you, you've been up for going on 23 hours at this point, and it's present in your muscles. You can feel it. You quickly sort of figure out how best to fight this much larger and seemingly almost stronger individual than you. And you're staying low, dodging, going back and forth here and there, before he finally succeeds in putting you in quite a tight headlock that you feel unable to get out of. In a natural 20, you trounced him on the second check, and then he beat you by 2 on the last one with a 15.
If
Oh,
possible.
we have to repeat that after a good night's sleep or some celebration, I think.
I'd say when he's in the headlock, and will intervene by kicking him in the dinglies.
By doing
Siegfried
what to
would-
his danglies? What?
Kicking him!
Okay. Kicking Dunnan in his danglies?
No. Then his opponent.
Oh. You can try.
Absolutely.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
And this is how we fight the entire Skyfire clan.
As you sort of sidle around behind Jolly to try to assist Dunnan before Dunnan gives up, and you get close enough that it's very clear that you're intent on intervening, you find a heavy boot is meeting the center of your chest. As one by one, he's now paying attention to your positioning while holding Dunnan. You're not quite quiet
It's all
enough.
right, Willem. He won fair and square. It's all right.
Siegfried would walk up
Bless
to
you,
Aeolus,
Dunnan.
and he would ask them, Aeolus, if possible, could I have some time? I need 8 hours for a spell.
Yeah, sure.
Let's take our mid-session break here.
Okay.
As the sun rises on a much more jolly Skyfire clan. And we'll pick up there in a few minutes. About 6-7 minutes. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Means.
Getting back into it. It is morning in the Skyfire clan. At the prospect of no more evening visits from these specters, Chief Frothy has instructed them to bring out quite a bit more of their food reserves that they've been rationing up until this point, since the clan is, over the next 2 days, going to be packing up and leaving this area. Food weighs a lot. Better to have it now. Have a little bit of a celebration. So, a celebration is starting to be put together as multiple cook fires are lit up. The smell of roasting meat starts to fill the air. What do the group of you do?
While they're getting ready for the party, I guess later tonight, could I walk out to the area where the most fire damage was done?
Okay. An area from outside the encampment's radius, so to speak. The fire extends about another 100 feet from that direction.
I think
in
I can
all
do
directions.
This. I think I can do this from within the camp because
Okay.
the range is half a mile.
Okay, yeah, easily. That area has been clear cut and burned heavily.
I'm just gonna find a spot where I'm just out of the way of everyone. Make sure there's no like foot traffic that's gonna bump into me. Maybe even go up onto the cube of Earth if it's still there. But
there's remains of it.
Yeah, over the next 8 hours, I am going to cast plant growth.
Okay, doing the long casting.
Yeah, and just try and restore the at least the plant growth in this area, and then hopefully make it so in the future the orcs gonna come back and graze here, so they won't be at as much of a loss in the next year.
That was good. So you're working on that for the next 8 hours. Noted.
Yep.
Okay.
Kelly's gonna go off someplace quiet but safe, maybe
Mhm.
behind Frothy's tent or something like that. And just see if she can connect with the spirits of the land. She just wants to see what that's like. Just like extend her senses and see what she can feel, because she hasn't really tried that. She just kind of grunts around and
Make me a
reacts to things.
religion check.
Okay.
You sit and sort of meditate. It's not a feeling to which you're accustomed. 2 minutes pass and you're like, am I doing this right? I haven't felt anything. 3 minutes pass. It's that the person the first time who they meditate, they really have no idea what they're doing, so they just think everything comes right away.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
in your own view unsuccessful, but you also know it's not something that you've done commonly. So maybe you gotta try more. You don't
Good
hear
first
any
try.
spirits of the land after about 10 minutes. And do you spend more time out here?
No, she'll probably go back and ask Good Lang what it's like, but nothing needs to be acted out. Just hey, and maybe Good Lang will give her some wisdom, or maybe not.
On how to meditate?
Yeah, and how to connect with the spirits of the land.
Okay. When you speak with Goodling about it, she talks about how each morning, I set out my bowl of water, light some incense or burn some dried herbs, and try to close my eyes and fill my lungs with the air around us. It is my way of sort of tuning in, but it is not the same way for everyone. I don't know how you might. Some people prefer to leave charms. Some people will pick up remains of creatures and beasts and pile them together. It varies from person to person in your upbringing. What did your parents teach you about the spirits?
Absolutely nothing. I think I have an idea, though. You've given me insight. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going
And
to.
Helly makes a mental note to just spend more time with Corin and see if she can actually feel any kind of wisdom coming from Corin, because that seems to be her closest connection to whatever it is that has given her this power.
Sure.
It's the friends we made along the way. We've always had them with us, kind of thing.
Treasure. At about midday, um, uh, from your various activities, other than you, Siegfried, who was adamant that you're not to be interrupted. The rest of you are sort of asked to come to Frothi's Bashla, such that he might be able to speak with you. Once you're
Aelith will
go ahead.
follow.
Once you're assembled there, it's sort of sitting. I need to thank you all. You've given my people hope again. I've paid my condolences to the loved ones of the missing hunters. I did leave out the concept of them being the ones that attacked us every evening. Please keep that quiet amongst yourselves. I feel it would only injure morale. And I know Jolly and Goodlang will not spread it, as I have asked them to not do so. But with them being put to a proper rest, and the blight upon the clan alleviated, I am a chief of my word. He steps away for a moment out of the Bashla and returns holding the large crystal, the Bodmal stone. This was the promised payment, and the promised payment it is. He reaches out and proffers it to you.
Aelith,
Thank you very much, Chief.
Say again, Sam.
oh no, Aelith will grab it so that he can hand it to Siegfried later.
If I might ask, your friend who's out there playing in the dirt, said that called this by a different name. I'm curious, what is the significance of this to you? It's regardless of what it is, I will not feel badly about giving it to you. But I'm curious to know.
It's a part of our own investigation from the Blackburn Watch.
Understood. Well, I hope that it comes to a succinct conclusion as best it can. You've done a lot for us, and I appreciate it. On behalf of all of the Skyfire that still endure, and those who gave their lives to get us to this point, thank you.
If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what are you gonna do now?
We are several months behind, several weeks behind, several 10-day, my apologies, several 10-day behind our normal transitions and different grounds. Most likely head due north, cross the Sanguine, do do a little bit of trading in Armskirk, and if there's anything we might be able to offer, and then go to the far sides of the Glass Sands. We spend the summers on the steppe there. There's a tough grasslands on the eastern side of the sands. It'd be suicide to try to cross it by foot, the sands themselves, but we know the waypoints to cross the grasslands. It is uncomfortable and not to be done in the height of summer, but we should still have time to do so. And then we'll spend the rest of summer on the steppe and cross when the weather south when the weather starts to turn again. We will endure. Have you been up that way ever?
I don't think so, no. Not that far.
On the far side of the Glass Sands, maybe 10-15 days journey north of Armskirk, there's a Fellhold Refuge. It's the only permanent settlement of which I know in that direction. That chat. But usually not more than a few hundred people there at most. If you find your way yourselves up that way, please don't hesitate to greet. Usually Fellhold will know around about where we are. You will always be friends of the Skyfires.
Thank you very much, Chief. I do hope we see each other again in the near future. And I wish you and your clan all the best.
If you, along your travels, come across any creatures that you cannot explain, creatures that you and Urdlang know that aren't from this world, please don't hesitate to try to get word to the Iron Fang.
I will keep it in mind. That's their speciality.
Well, I think our next stop may be Armskirk, and I am going to see if they have any information that we don't have.
Were you able to find your companion, the one that had come to try to help us?
I was not. There was nothing. There were
No trace.
no traces, no remains.
Sometimes that's
Not
harder.
even equipment. Nothing. As if she vanished.
Hopefully not on purpose.
Yeah, I do hope
I'm
so.
sorry to bring up a sensitive topic such. But please, come enjoy the festivities a little bit. I think we'll go long into the night.
the group of you can go ahead. I'm gonna go wash myself and take a nice long R&R.
Oh, man, such a buzzkill, Aeolus. Now is the time to celebrate. But well, go ahead. I don't want to miss out to party with some orcs. So where's the jolly? I'm fit for round 2.
The rest of the day passes a little bit punchy for you, Dunnan, but in good spirits for everyone. Siegfried. 8 hours pass. You started a little bit after dawn, say 7 a.m. That brings it to about mid-afternoon when you finish, about 3. The blackened and gray ash surroundings of the camp of the Skyfire clan is speckled with tiny sprouts of green. None more than a few inches in height, but everything has been started. It looks like the entire area has grown a layer of green carpet upon it. You know, the soil is enriched. Give them a good season to grow. It won't be a forest as it was by next winter, but it should be hardy enough to survive another cold wind patch.
Siegfried will smile and kind of wipe the dirt off himself, and then he would go join the party.
Rest of the day, quiet, comfortable, fun. All excellent adjectives to describe your time here. Is there anything in particular, group, you want to do before concluding your festivities for the day and long resting?
Right? I think Siegfried is just fully relaxing today because he's tired and he's used a lot of spells, so he's just partying.
Sure.
Yeah. Done is dancing, drinking, eating, punching.
Oh, maybe Siegfried would try and write a song about the orc tribe,
Sure.
like a lament for the fallen who defended the tribe.
Make me a performance check with disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm going to enhance ability myself.
Sure. Straight roll then.
Yeah, for cat. Which one is it? Fox's cunning? No,
Performance would be charisma, so
Eagle Splendor.
yeah.
So just a straight performance. Ooh.
You get some sort of polite clapping.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that was nice. But
I'll be like,
it was
let me sleep
polite.
let me sleep on it. I'll have a better version in the morning.
Yeah, it was polite. It is what it is. The group of you rest, recuperate, and reach your next milestone, which will advance you to level 6.
Ooh, I was not expecting that.
Finally, aura of protection.
Siegfried, don't mess your sheet around for a moment. I'm adjusting your enhance ability. That way I can actually read it as you cast the spell.
Yeah, it's very. It's hard to read.
That
What you exactly
that is a word vomit of a spell.
There's worse, trust me.
Oh, I know. Heliport. Fish.
Animate objects.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that's what I was about to say. Also, that thing Kalon did with like the the force of nature or whatever. That thing has a lot of options.
It's so beautiful.
There we go. Alrighty. Does anyone want to roll for hit points?
Yes, sir.
Alright. And you're taking your first level of fighter, right? Skipping out on paladin.
No,
Okay, fine.
no way.
Or protection for Denon.
Yes.
You have a D10 hit dice. Go ahead and roll a D10. You get to reroll a 1. 7. Hey, that's
7.
1 better than average.
Yeah.
So with tough, and I take 5. How many am I getting?
So your base is 5. Tough will add 2 to that, so it's 7. And then you get
Okay.
your charisma mod on top of that.
You mean con mod?
Your con mod, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait a second, I didn't do that. So I think that's 7 plus 3, so I get 10 hit points. Cool.
Yeah. Tough basically just augments whatever you gain as base by +2.
Nice.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm just gonna take average.
Okay.
Which
Yours is
is
a
again?
D12, so your average is 7.
Okay.
And then did you take tough also or no?
No, I don't have tough.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah, you took heavy armor master.
HP by 10.
Nice. Roll the 6.
Alright. So yeah, you get but then you get your con mod on top of that Hellras, so you pick up 12 hit points.
Okay.
So make sure to
Alright.
adjust your maximum. Willem picks up
Yes.
non-available.
Awesome. And then I pick up one more spell.
Yeah, sweet.
And what is the shamanic guide feature?
Alright. Let me pull up the shaman real quick.
Spirit guide, well traveled, ability score improvement, ethereal blessing. Oh, ethereal blessing. No.
No, so 6th level is shamanic guide feature. So that's a subclass one. So you are guided by primal spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So 6th level, you gain dual consciousness. Once you reach 6th level, the primal spirit imparts some level of consciousness to your spirit companion whenever you conjure it. Whenever you cast a shaman spell that requires concentration while your spirit companion is present, you can choose to have it concentrate on that spell instead of you. If the companion is destroyed, the spell on which it is concentrating immediately ends.
Spectacular.
Which would let you have 2 concentration spells up at once.
Nice.
But one of them is tethered to having that magical spirit present.
Right.
If you want, I can add it to your sheet real quick for you.
Okay. I've got part of it in there.
Question, Spencer, how do I set up the aura then? Is it on the third sheet? The global saving throw modifier? Because it counts for me too, right?
SCIOUSNESS. Hold on. Hello, stop clicking things. Stop.
Sorry.
When you click stuff and I'm clicking stuff on the same sheet, it annihilates whatever I typed in.
I'm sorry.
Consciousness, class. Are we just calling that primal spirit? Alright. Dual consciousness. There you go. That should be added.
Yep.
Done. I mean, you need to move it to where it needs to be, but you're good.
Yeah, that's fine. Where it is.
That's not where it goes, though. Stop clicking.
Oh, no.
Stop clicking on the gears to open stuff. That's how you accidentally delete. There we go.
I'm just not doing anything.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. if you need to like read one of them, just click on the name.
Right. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
There we go.
I should be
Okay.
doing this on.
Alrighty. So done in, you need to add your thing. Global saving throw modifier. Yeah, that's the best spot to put it. So in your charisma mod is a 4.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the right spot. So that's the one option. The other option is to go into each of the saves because it doesn't affect your death saving throw. And right now, global saving throw modifier would be in there. So what I would recommend would be don't put it as a global. Instead, set a +4 to all of the saves, other than your death save, because it only applies while you're conscious.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And the only thing you need to keep in mind is if when your charisma modifier changes, if you increase it to 20 at some point, and you get a +5 to adjust it at that point. But 4 is pretty good. And then when you jump back to the front, you'll see all of your saves are adjusted.
Shit.
Yeah, you have a +11 charisma save, +10 wisdom. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you also invested heavily in charisma, so you get a huge benefit out of it.
Do you want to adjust the token too, so we don't forget the 10 feet, or?
No. I will try to keep that in mind as well, and that's also some.
Okay.
I'm not going to put a permanent visible aura. That's going to busy up all of the maps. But basically, if any of you are within 10 feet of Dunnan, you get a +4 to your saves,
Nice.
including death saves, as long as he's awake.
Spencer, could you possibly check if I did my hit points right? I think I'm at 66 now.
At 66?
Yeah, or 63. I'm not exactly sure.
You have.
I didn't take tough at a level up.
No, it doesn't matter when you take tough.
Okay.
Tough applies retroactively to all of them anyway.
Okay.
Because you haven't rolled for any of your hit points, correct?
Yeah, I've done average the whole time.
Okay.
And I have a +3 to Constitution.
So you have a D8, which is an average of 5, +3 for your con mod, +2 for tough. So you're looking at 10 per level. So we multiply that by 6 times 6 for your level. Now that was 5 at base instead of the full 8, which you would have had for level 1. So you have another 3 on top of that.
Oh, level 1 is 8 plus con modifier.
Yeah, so at level 1 you have your full instead of average. So you'd be at 63. Because you get 10 per level plus the difference of average to max at level 1.
I thought I was 63, but for some reason I kept coming up with 66, so I must have messed up the math somewhere.
Oh, good. Yeah, and make sure that everyone on your sheets you have written down somewhere other than in your hit points because of how the token sort of bugs out every now and then.
Yeah, I put it in your
max hit points somewhere, like in personality traits or something.
Yep, in personality traits, and I also now have this feature, something like Helly's.
Oh, is that augury also? Oh no, this is cool, yeah. Nice.
This is a little bit different, but it probably plays out the same way in game.
Long rest. And does this use proficiency bonus? Yeah, there we go. And then Siegfried, when you're looking at that Cosmic Omen, that resource that you just added, if you click on the gear, I adjusted it. You can take it to use proficiency bonus, and then reset on the whenever you click that long rest button.
Very cool. Yeah, I always forget to do that.
Yeah, all good. Anyone else need any assistance with anything? Helgast has a spell to pick. Willem, you need any help?
Just looking for folks to maybe weigh in and give me a vote on what they think for my spell.
Druids can prepare their druid level plus wisdom, so I think I have 9 spells I can prepare.
I mean, honestly, I think here fits Willem more than Fireball does.
Yeah, I agree, but Fireball is fireball.
Fireball's fireball. Yeah.
Well, you can flavor it. That's like a shadow fireball. It doesn't have to be a fireball.
Shadow ball.
Could just be like a black flame.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. I missed it.
Instead of like your typical orange and yellow flame, it could be like a black flame instead.
That's fair.
And as far as my level up, I'm good. I'm
Solid.
above 40 hit points, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm like a wizard.
Now you survive 2 cuts to yourself.
The sorcerer just has more hit points than you still.
Yep.
Alright. Anyone need any other assistance with their choices? Or getting something set correctly on the sheet?
Still trying to pick.
Pick a spell?
Mm-hmm. I think the way things are going, I might pick life transference, but
Yeah.
Do I have that? I do. Okay.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Heller, because now you can concentrate on multiple things, so having multiple
more Yeah.
concentration spells can be of benefit to you. I know you have Spirit Guardians already, but Pass Without Trace, Alter Self, and Detect Thoughts are not usually combat-y spells.
No.
And you can always gain one spell and then trade out a spell as well. So,
Right.
because I believe 6th level, yeah, so you go from 7 to 8 spells known. So you could always pick up like another level 3, like life transference, but then you could trade out one of the other ones that you've had that you haven't found. Why isn't Fairy Fire marked for concentration? This thing is concentration. That you haven't like found yourself using that often.
Right. Yeah, I might get rid of Pass Without Trace, since Siegfried's always jumping on using his.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't need multiple people with it. Like, you have some very cool spells in your list. You have tons of level 1 spells. You can pick up, like, Detect Poison Disease, Fog Cloud, Bless, Bane. Bless and Bane are amazing uses of concentration. You can pick up Dragon's Breath, Heat Metal, Hold Person, Maximilian's Earth and Grasp.
Heat Metal is the ultimate. Screw you, you're wearing heavy armor?
Yeah. I used it once with Heli, and it was interesting.
I mean, you could also pick up...
Not Heli, Kalon.
Yeah. And you could also pick up a concentration spell at 3rd level. Like, if you really want to, like, sort of double down on, like, lots of big damage stuff, you could have, like, Call Lightning and Spirit Guardians going at the same time.
Yeah. I was thinking of Call Animals, but...
Conjure Animals? Yeah.
Conjure Animals.
And there's also Protection from Energy, which is just variable resistance whenever you need it type of thing.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We don't really send one person out to do something while the rest of us sit there. We're all charging in at once.
I'll put a snip of the spells into Discord if everyone else wants to view her options.
Yeah. I'm on Wikidot right now, looking at all of them.
Giant's Breath is a cool one. Hold Person, I don't think any of you have access to.
And I think slow is a great one too, especially when you fight those crazy bosses that are doing multi attacks.
No.
Yeah, I
Slow-
was looking
Slow
at
is just
slow
OP.
too.
Slow is a very
Slow
good
is
spell,
just
yeah.
OP.
Yeah. So, I need to make... Don't make any edits on your sheet for a moment.
Me?
No, not you. Hellrest. Okay, I don't have to make any changes quite yet.
No.
No, so Hellrast's spell progression is somewhat unique. So she gets spell slots as a full caster until she gains access to 5th level spells, after which point she stops gaining access to spell slots higher than that.
Makes sense.
Waiting for Hound of Ill Omen.
Yeah, I know. That's the spellcasting progression that the shaman follows. So somewhere between like warlock progression, in like spell slots followed by the ethereal blessings at higher levels of once per day, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But full slot progression up to that point.
Very nice.
Interesting hybrid. All right. Well, you can take your time deciding that. Getting back into the game itself. But after you rest, after the festivities, you wake and you see you wake a bit before most of the clan, but some of the Skyfire are already working on starting to break down this encampment. It's at least a day's worth of hard labor for them to sort of break it all down. They have put together their sledges again. And you see where they would latch up the hyenas that can pull the sledges. They're starting to get ready to leave. Now that they've had, at this point, 2 safe nights in a row. They're leaving this area.
It's like a prom dress.
Mm-hmm. What will the group use do to spend your day?
Yeah. What are we gonna do? What's the plan? Going to Armskirk or report back to Storm Surge? I mean,
Go for to Almskirk because we still haven't found out anything regarding our mission.
that is true, yeah. We don't have much to report to him.
This was kind of a whole side adventure, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we helped.
Oh. And we got a Boatmall stone. I'm very excited to see what
Yeah,
we're
that
gonna do
helps.
with that.
Yeah, I asked Aeolus, do you mind if I take a look at it?
Yeah, no, here. I don't want to hold on to it.
Yeah. See if he
Yeah.
takes it. He doesn't get a vision like the other ones when he touches it, does he?
No.
Okay.
Historically, anytime Aeolus has held on to something, his house gets burned down.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Very true.
I don't have a house at the moment.
I hand it over to Helly. Do you see any Orcish writing on it?
Do I?
Similar to the previous 2 Bodemall stones you've encountered, there is this sort of spiderweb network in the center of the stone of very, very fine script. You can make out the characters, but the words you do not know.
So it is Orcish,
Okay.
though. Some kind of Orcish.
It is Orcish.
Okay.
Orcish characters. I'm not sure that it's Orcish language.
Maybe if
Correct.
we ever end up back in Elder Thorn, we can pass it around to Gogren.
Yeah. Of which, you know that the only other language that uses similar characters to Orcish is Dwarvish, although Dwarvish characters are very distinct, and these are very clearly have that Orcish sort of stylization to them.
It's like all European language use the same alphabet, but this is in Italian and I speak English.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that's how I'm thinking of it.
Yes, but You know it. You would know Italian, but you don't know Sicilian. This seems
Right.
more like more dialectic than a different language.
Oh.
And just something that you don't recognize in and of itself.
Right.
But you like if an Italian looks at the Sicilian language, like, oh, that I know what that is. I just don't
Right.
understand it.
Well, yeah, I will put it away for now. This is honestly pretty big. Maybe it leads to another gateway in Urkrit. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think we should head to Armskirk, like Ayla said.
Mm.
Hey, Hellerest.
Hey, Aeolus.
Would you mind helping me learn Orcish?
Sure.
Thanks.
I'll work with you whenever you need. As we sit around on our asses.
So,
Let's add
No.
a resource to your sheet. Like on the right hand side. Once it reaches 50 hours of Orcish, you can add it as a proficiency. While traveling and not under duress, you can add half the amount of time that you spend traveling because you are doing something else at the same time. So if you travel for 8 hours, you could add 4 hours of Orcish training.
Hey, Aeolus, what languages do you speak?
The only exotic language I speak would be Infernal.
Hmm.
And
How about this? We'll look at something. I'll tell you the Orcish, you tell me the Infernal. And we'll teach each other.
Sure.
Never know.
And then as the two of you practice languages, you can add half the time. And if you're traveling, you can add a quarter of the time. So 8 hours of travel during the day, you'll each get 2 hours of practice.
Perfect.
Or if you have a downtime day, 8 hours of practice would be 4 hours towards that 50. And once you hit 50, it's a proficiency.
Awesome.
You cannot contribute more than 8 hours during the day to it, though.
No.
But since you're sort of teaching each other back and forth, the time is split in half.
So, wait, can you go over that so that I can...
So you can put 8 hours of practice towards a language each day.
Okay.
That's if you're like resting in town. Now, since you're going to be teaching each other sort of back and forth, half of your time is going to be teaching and half of it is going to be learning. Therefore, if you spend 8 hours during a day working on it, you'll get 4 hours of practice towards your language that you're learning. Because that's half the time. Now, if you're walking and traveling and walking from here to Armskirk over the next day and a half, because you are not sitting and writing and going back and forth and just conversing, you're sort of also paying attention to your surroundings, you're hiking, you're doing that stuff. You get half of that. So 8 hours of travel, as opposed to 8 hours of downtime, would contribute 2 hours, or a quarter of the time, towards you learning the language that you're learning. Does that make sense?
Yep. I just had to type it out for my eyeballs to see it.
All good. Yeah.
You have eyeballs? What the heck?
No.
Yep.
He's got 3 of them.
Those are the next thing that Aeolus is just gonna start to just do damage to as he pitches out spells.
Eye horror. Lovely. Alright. Anything else? Anything over the course of this day that the group of you want to do? Sounds like you're heading towards Armskirk. Are you setting out right away?
I imagine, but Siegfried would just try and just say goodbye to Chief Ferothy and Goodlang since he wasn't there yesterday. And just let them know that the plant should be back by next year, or at least some of them.
Well,
If they choose to come back.
bid you a fond farewell. Hard to sort of pull them aside for more than a moment or two, as they are, at everyone sort of at the time that the group of you have backed up, they're also working on trying to break down this camp as quickly as possible. They know they need to get as many miles as possible over the next few days, such that they can reach sort of more fertile areas where their hunters can get them some more food for the rest of the journey. As the area around here has been overhunted and overfished, so.
Yep. And then, yeah, I would just join the group to head to Ormskirk.
Okay. So you get, you still get a full day's worth of travel. Puts you,
Should I make more survival checks?
not necessary. You have a map, at this point, and you have a minimum threshold, and that virtually costs you no resources. Over the course of the day, and it's not hard to. You just follow the water, typically. As you know, Ormskirk is upon the Sanguine River. All right. The day passes. So Hellerast and Aeolus can each add 2 hours towards your respective language training. As you sort of banter back and forth with different words for different things and phrases, and turn left at the traffic light and things like that.
Willem will be tossing some corrections now and again for the, what was it, Infernal?
Infernal, yeah.
Yeah, me and Dundon would just keep talking in Dwarvish since we're being left out.
An interesting cacophony of sound as the group of you progress. As you all set up camp for the evening in a sheltered thicket, once you crossed the other tributary towards the Sanguine River, that the Orcish tribe was in the fork of, trees shift. You're no longer finding the conifers of the pinwood. These are wide, leafy trees. They're not thick-trunked. They're all thin, maybe 8 inches to a foot in diameter, that you're sort of passing along the outskirts of a few dotted every score of feet. Nice. The change in environment is interesting. These aren't typically trees that you've encountered in the past. Everything around Adlerthorn is coniferous and evergreen. These are seasonal trees. And
I'd possibly just do a nature check just because I'm interested in them.
yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a nature check.
See if there's any value to some of the plants around here. 17.
17. Okay. You notice 2 different types of trees that you recognize. There is a large majority of what's known as blue leaf trees here. They resemble maple trees, but the very tips of their leaves, which are pointed like a star, a 5-pointed star, almost like a hand. The very tips of it look very slightly tinted blue, almost like the tips of 5 fingers had painted nails upon them. So they're known as blue leaf trees because of this. They reach heights of about 30 to 40 feet, and their trunks are sort of thick by comparison to some of the other ones here. They're the ones that are getting to about a foot. The other trees that you encounter are known as Sassar trees, although they're quite young. These are typically very gnarled looking trees. They are known to twist and sort of spiral as they go upwards. But they're quite young, and they have some leaves, but these are quite smaller leaves. These almost resemble ferns in the style of how the leaves grow. Very small fern fronds.
And this area is not affected by the pinwood blight, right?
Does not appear to be, no.
Okay, cool. I have to meet all the trees in case I get a tree stride spell later on.
So
Uh,
where should we go first? In the Amskirk? Your order, Aeolus? I mean,
None of us have been there.
you have no contacts there.
I think Aeolus
None.
will take the lead, right?
I think it's our best bet.
So, to refresh, we are heading to Armskirk for what exactly?
Well, one of the
That
reasons we
everyone's
wanted
on the
to look
same
around
page.
was that in one of Badiana's notes, she kept referring to the group that Dunnan's friends were working for. Can't remember off the top of
Just
the
deniers.
Yes, the Death Deniers. Apparently, the cities north of Armskirk have been having trouble with them, and they had formed an alliance to try and battle them. And it was in the same notes Badiana was talking about the mines and the contaminated water, so I'm not really sure. Our original plans was just to ask the orcs to see if we would get more information. But they obviously didn't know. But I think maybe we should investigate these death deniers, or at the very least, figure out what happened to your comrade, right, Aeolus?
Yeah, I'm. So, we all have fond memories of the twins that we've fought. The brother, though, to my knowledge, not a part of the Iron Fang, was like us. He was a blood hunter. My worry is that I hope Fen or anyone else in my order isn't mixed up in this.
Well, I think then our next stop should be checking in with your order, Aeolus, as long as that's not disagreed.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Well, if they're
Hasn't
all
it always been fun?
Yeah.
I hope they're not all like you, Aeolus, are they? It gives a smile looking.
You mean cutting themselves?
As oh no, we
Fan figure?
all cut ourselves. We all have that similar kink. They're not all assholes though. They're not all grumpy, party spoilers, old mans. Yeah.
Nearly 3 out of 4 are, I hear.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Do you have anything we should expect in Olmskirk? Do we have to like check in our weapons, or do they not like magic or anything like that? I don't really know. Never been this far east.
I have never been to Armskirk. I was specifically stationed in Elderthorn.
Ah, your order sent you straight there. I see.
Yes.
So, question. Your order's stronghold in Armskirk, has this been here long before you came to Droucia?
Honestly, when we were making our way to Iquan and to this side of the continent, I only received orders that when I landed in Elderthorn, I was to make it home. I heard passings and received a message that that the others were further up north, but nothing beyond that.
So you're suggesting that your mission is something different from their mission?
I possibly, or it is the same mission, just I'm not of the hired variety. I was oh look, this plant looks cool. What if we mix this plant with this? And let's see if we can take those who aren't as strong as the others and make them stronger.
Let's see. Well, I mean, it's good to have some information.
So, what exactly to expect in Armskirk, I have no idea.
Well, let's try and think of what else has led us to Armskirk in the past couple of months. There were the twins, the potentially being blood hunter, your order, the death defiers,
and any information on anything else that is otherworldly. They may have reports.
I turn to the group as well. I think while we're in this city, we can't tell anyone about the Bodeball stones.
No.
Oh, hell no.
Agreed.
Or what happened with Mayor Tidal.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we have to tell them anything.
No?
We're just looking for your old colleague, Aeolus, and try to find out if they know anything. Mingle
Hey,
must have given her some order.
Conan, do you think your friend may be here?
Grotto?
He shrugs down, shrugs. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know.
They both got away, didn't then? We got your other one out, right?
They did.
Usually they
Blend.
are not in the open field, so I don't expect them walking around the streets.
And at least from Betty-Anna's notes, the Death Defiers were working north of Armskirk.
Deniers.
Death Deniers. They seemed like they were messing with settlements to the north, not exactly with Armskirk, but the individuals interested in what they were doing did meet at Armskirk, I believe.
Well, we can also ask you, Orta, they must have heard something, I think.
Yeah.
And if not, there is always some taverns and inns with some drunken people where we can extract some informations.
That will be on
Also,
you guys.
Also,
Oh,
Spencer,
hell yeah.
we were told Armskirk has a library too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, if we bring up, there's supposedly a library in Armskirk that I would very much like to take a look at as well. Maybe Aeolus.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Also Willem too.
And perhaps I don't know, swapping out and seeing if I can get lighter armor.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone needs metalworking, this is the place to do it. Their forges are much more robust than the ones we have in Elderthorn, at least from what I hear.
You know what we could need? We could need some money.
It's
We're
about
running low on money. If we stay for a while in Armskirk, we're gonna need some funds.
getting into Armskirk. About mid-morning as you approach, and you get your first view of the settlement. Set upon the banks of the broad and winding river, the Sanguine River, the bustling village of Armskirk thrives in the fertile lands that surround it. Its central square, you can see already, is dominated by a towering grandfather tree. Roots spreading wide and leaves providing shade for the market stalls that cluster around its trunk. The tree is said to be older than the village itself, a living link to an ancient forest that once spread across this land. At the edge of the square stands the imposing stone walls of the Iron Fang Monastery. You can even from here see the blood-red banners of it snapping in the breeze. The Order is a presence in Armskirk, clad in their distinctive clothing and known for their skill. Down the street from the monastery is a lively tavern called the River's Edge, where travelers and locals alike gather for good food, ale, and lively conversation. The tavern's walls are adorned with antlers and many other hunting trophies on the outside and inside. Across the square from the tavern is a large general goods store owned and operated by the wealthy Opulent Depths Merchant Guild. The store is stocked with everything from farming tools to treasures, and the representatives that man it are always on hand. Despite the occasional threat from marauding bandits and mercenaries, some of which you might know, Armskirk is a vibrant and welcoming community. Nestled upon the edge of the village, surrounded by a small grove of trees and overlooking the river, with its own private dock, is the quiet and peaceful library of Armskirk. The building is small, sturdy, domed stone structure, with arched windows and slate roof upon the dome. The entrance is marked by a wooden sign with the image of an open book. Inside the library, it's dimly lit but cozy, and there are many books with a wealth of knowledge, hopefully, for you to discover. As you all make your way into the city, where do you go?
Danny, should we hit up, the inn?
Why don't we head to the Iron Fang Monastery and we can sort the inn out afterwards? Or do the inn first? I think we should stick together.
I think we should do the inn, probably grab some rooms. See if there's any see if we can get the overall feeling before heading towards the monastery.
Okay, let's find an inn then.
So the inn in Armskirk is known as, the River's Edge. It's down about a stone's throw from the Iron Fang Monastery, 200 feet at most, slightly down the hill towards the riverbank.
That's where we go.
Okay.
And Aeolus's eyes do not leave the monastery as they walk.
As you pass by it, the center of the square is dominated entirely by this grandfather tree. The roots standing almost 4 feet off the ground in thickness, and disappearing into it. There's steps around the courtyard and ramps set over the roots, such that carts and wagons and beasts of burden who help set up the market here, nestled in the V shapes between the roots, can navigate the square safely without damaging the tree itself. It is impossible to get away from, and towers and dominates the space. It itself standing at least 300 feet tall, and its boughs entirely shading the center square from any direct sunlight. And the square itself seems to be set in such a way that it benefits from the boughs of the tree. Easily 500 feet across. It's a very large square for a very large tree. As you make your way away from the square, down the embankment towards the Sanguine River, you can hear the swinging and creaking iron sign that denotes the River's Edge Tavern. As you enter, it is quite warm. There are 2 bustling fires, crackling fires, pardon me, that are permeating the space. Despite the somewhat warm early to mid, at this point you're actually mid-spring, mid-spring day, the fires are roaring and filling the space with a nice, comfortable warmth. You're overdressed for the interior here. As you enter, it's still quiet. It's about 11 a.m. So there's not a lot of patrons here. There's only a few people, and set behind the bar off to your left-hand side as you enter. And it runs the full length of the tavern itself, with a very small gap at the end, such that who's ever behind can enter the main area. Is a quite portly dwarf with a very thick mustache curled with beeswax. Balding on top, thinning, but still sort of pulled back into a wispy ponytail, giving the appearance of hoping that his hair is going to continue to hold out. It looks like not enough wool to spin a yarn has been pulled through a loom. And he's greets a group of you with a nice warm smile to his face. A little bit of sweat stains to his tunic. Hello, welcome. Pleasure to have you. This is the River's Edge. What can I get for you?
Oh there. We are looking for some rooms for us, for me and my companions. We are 5 in total. I think 2 rooms would be sufficient.
2 rooms, certainly. He reaches underneath the bar and out of sight, and you can hear something engage. It sounds like he pulled on something, and you can hear a few, like a sort of a clanking sound for a moment, and then a panel sort of opens on the wall next to him, the one closest to the exterior, and 2 keys sort of just drop into it from somewhere up above. 2 rooms.
Yeah, I think we should be at least here for 3 days, I think.
Not a
So
problem.
2 nights.
It's not a problem. Plenty of space. Quiet season so far. Sorry, moment. Name's Grimbolt. Holds out a meaty paw to shake.
Reach out and name's Dan and Firebeard. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Siegfried. I shake his hand.
Willem, and I think I need a menu of your casks of liquor. Denny here has a hearty appetite, as I can see you do.
My appetite's okay. I'm typically not that hungry though.
Honey, he looks like he could eat you. He gives him that whisper that's not really a whisper.
Be nice to the innkeeper.
Helirast goes up to shake his hand. Says, I'm Helirast.
Rectitude.
Pleased to meet you all. So 3 days. That'll be half a gold a day, for each room. And comes with 1 meal and 1 beer.
Half a gold is like 5
5
silver,
silver.
right?
Yeah. 5 silver a day.
Aeolus will put a
Of note, that comes with 1 meal and 1 beer per room, not per person.
Mhm.
Aeolus will drop a gold piece and
Oh, I actually have the gold. Thank you.
yeah, it's not much. And we'll
Most
drop-
people carry coppers and silver. That's fine with me, though.
I'll turn to the others. Does anybody have some silver? I only have
Sure.
platinum.
Sure, I have some silver. I pay that. How much do you need done in?
Yeah, 20 silver for the remainder.
Okay, I will do
I've
that.
got 1 gold.
I would hold on to that for now. I end of the silver.
He, pardon me, I don't mean to be rude. He just sort of quickly counts it out in his palm, and then he slides his palm over to his right, your left, as you entered, and so 1 by 1 deposits the different coins into a slot at the end of the bar there that's slightly raised, and you can hear ting 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 as they all sort of fall into some compartment below.
Oh, tell me, Grimbold, what's the news around Armskirk? Any happenings lately?
Happenings. I mean, I spend most of my time here. You'd be better off checking with Iron Fangs, see if they got anything going on. But it's been a quiet season so far. Winter wasn't too bad. Nice and comfortable, but overall, quiet. Opulent Depths, they just had a big shipment come in about 2 days ago. And they got, here's some talk about pirates in the Stormstring. Not that pirates dared attack a depth ship, but still, always gotta be wary of stuff like that, you know? Scary stuff. I mean, I've heard tell of some people sort of sign up on ships like that, especially if it's not a depth ship, thinking they'll be fine. Dangerous business. You either do nothing for the whole voyage or you die.
Sounds risky.
All business is dangerous business.
True.
Especially innkeeping. Never know what stuff I'm going to run into.
Just one question. Did
Could run out of food.
someone named Kratel stay here? Like, I don't know, a month ago?
Rattle. What do they look like?
Tall, orcish, short hair.
Nondescript looking fellow? I think so. Sounds familiar. Not recently. Don't get too many orcs that come through here. Speaking of, the usual traders haven't been by the season yet, but that's okay. They usually only have pelts or something. Sell it for a little bit of coin, and then you usually spend that coin on some supplies, but that's it. Were they with anybody else? You know?
I think not at the time. I think they were. Well, maybe. A dark-skinned fellow goes by the name of Land.
Real helpful, you know that? They might have been with somebody, but they might not have been.
Oh.
I think I'm thinking of the right people. Didn't get their names, but there was a group of 3 of them that came through. Orcish person, seemed somewhat androgynous in their dress. Dark-skinned gentleman, short hair.
Human.
Yeah, human fellow. And one of
Carried
us,
a bow, probably.
dwarven fellow. They were kind of thin, looked like they didn't eat well, or much at all. And they were here, gosh, now I'm thinking about it, maybe almost a year back, 10 months.
Oh, that much.
Makes sense.
All right, makes sense. Yeah.
Last I saw of them, though.
And they didn't tell you where they went. Maybe probably north of Armskirk.
No, they said they were in town looking for work. Told them I was the person to ask, and that was it. They stayed for a little while. Sorry, I don't know any more about your friends. I wish I could help you, though.
It's all right.
They seemed a
If
bit
we help
lost.
them,
Could I
let's light
possibly?
him over 1 silver for the information.
Noted.
Could I do?
He does
insight
take that
check?
silver and put it into a pocket. He does not put it into the bar. Insight check? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just on the barman,
Grimbolt.
Grimbold.
He seems to be holding a little bit something back. He doesn't seem sure how much information to safely share out. You can see he seems a little bit wary about the question, and as such is being wary about the answer, if that makes sense.
I won't say anything now, but I'll just thank him and tell him why don't we go to our rooms, get settled.
Yeah.
He takes a
Thank
look at
you
the
very
2
much,
keys that have
Grimbold.
sort of dropped out of the thing. Sure thing. So here you go. That's 1. That is up the stairs to the left and 2 doors down. And then this one across the hall from that one. Up the stairs
Thank
to
you
the
very
left,
much.
2 doors down on the right.
All right. Thank you. And I would go to whatever room Dunnan is going to, and then when he's inside, I would close the door and tell him I need to talk to him.
Well, I think it's Helivrest's choice. Who do you want to bunk with in the room?
I'm fine
Your
staying
choice.
as usual.
I had a choice, none of you, but I'll take Willem and whoever else.
All right, Aeolus and Siegfried, you are with me. Heli and Willem, you share the other room. All right?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Dunnan, before
Yes.
they go, I closed the door. The barman knew more about your friends than he was letting you know. He's
Well,
the question you asked him concerned him. I don't know why, but he wasn't telling you the full truth.
Make me an
Well.
intelligence check, Siegfried. Okay, continue.
Yeah, that's all I'll
I
say.
think he might have been intimidated by the group. I mean, Kratel has that effect on people. Or he wanted more money for the information he provided, or would have been able to provide. But nevertheless, Kratel is not important. No, I just wanted to get the facts straight and see if they line up with what we know.
But I think they may have prepared for people looking for them. My hunch.
Well, would be very Kratel-like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aeolus, your order.
Yeah, let's go.
You know where it's located?
In that big ass monastery with our our banners on it.
Yeah. Where we passed through. That's
Yep.
why you were looking at it.
Yep.
Anything we should know beforehand?
Just be prepared for assholes.
Well, I'm with you, so I'm always prepared for assholes.
Yep.
All right.
You guys are proficient in asshole.
Armshark doesn't have a brothel.
It doesn't have a brothel yet.
Jesus.
Alright. How about we pick up next session with you guys going to the Iron Fang Monastery? That's
Sure.
Yeah.
a good starting point for that.
We finally got the Armskirk.
It's only been how
long
long?
have we been trying?
I don't know, this is the 29th session, so...
Months.
29th already. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I imagined Amskirk would be like a fortress or something. I just read that in my mind. I don't know why. But it's just rather small, like
It's about twice the size of Elderthorn. It's,
Elfana.
by comparison, a large city just because of being on the Sanguine River. Makes it sheltered. But still able to be a trading power, so to speak.
Thinking like maybe kind of like St. Louis before it became a city.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can like by comparison you can think about it as like Philadelphia. Like it's upriver. Like it's not on the coast, but because it's on a major river, it can still trade as if it was on the coast, but as such it's sheltered from heavy storm surges and waves and stuff like that. Like Elderthorn has a bay, Armskirk's got the best kind of bay, a very large river.
Fantastic.
Like internationally, there's like cities on the Yangtze in China are strong cities because they have access to the ocean through a large river.
I'm gonna hop off though, guys. So
Yeah.
I'll see you everyone in a few weeks, and good luck with the surgery, Bill.
Have fun, yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy. We'll miss you.
Thank you. Don't die while I'm gone.